So bringing in some really cool news for you guys. Of course, we're going to talk about some really, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, but yeah, let's just talk about in moderation about these things. So the first thing that we can actually talk about is about Christian Falk coming up with another news regarding Bernd Leno. If you remember the last news that he provided, I think that's the only news that that's not been quite real for the moment, is that Bernd Leno was promised that he would be given the North London Derby match, and that did not happen. So Christian Falk comes up and says that, Inter is interested in a transfer for Bernd Leno in winter. In January, he's saying it's true. He tweeted out this that Inter is interested in the transfer of Bernd Leno, but reality is that Daniel Longo says that he does Milan podcasts. He says that Onana to Inter Milan is almost a done deal. Onana to Inter Milan is a done deal, is what he's saying. So I don't get it. What is Christian Falk doing, man? He's losing his reliability in weird aspects of the game. So Aaron Ramsdale shared this image, him training with David Seaman. So on Instagram, he posted the caption, "All smiles at training today. Finally got to meet this man properly as well. What a legend. What a guy." Now, if you're like me wondering what is David Seaman doing with Arsenal, I mean, of course you love to see, but is there a specific role that is actually carrying out? Well, David Seaman has been doing some informal goalkeeping coaching work with Arsenal under-23s and scholars in recent weeks. This has been updated by Chris Wheatley. Now, former Arsenal goalkeeper was invited by Per Mertesacker. You just love Per Mertesacker as to what he's doing, man. It's just too good to be true. Too awesome to be true. So David Seaman is coming in and helping us out. That's so great of him. So beautiful of him. Yeah. And talking about more stuff, Paul Merson has come up with a positive prediction about Arsenal. He says if Arsenal 11 stays fit, if they can challenge for the top 4. If Arsenal keep those players fit and they play every week, they would have a chance to getting in the top 4 and cause problems. They have no Europe, so we'll have time to recover and work on the team. Some awesome thing coming from Paul Merson. So Arsenal training yesterday, you could see Gabriel Martinelli, and there we go. Yeah, Aaron Ramsdale, Gabriel Magalhaes, followed by Mikel Arteta, as you can see in the training. So as I already mentioned yesterday, that Matteo Guendouzi, blaming his one of his teammates, and I said that I just some journalists have actually in France. His name is Romain Canuti. He's picked up on this whole Matteo Guendouzi thing. Now he writes an article about Matteo Guendouzi, and if you're a Matteo Guendouzi fan, you won't like this. He says that, according to L'Equipe, Guendouzi asked his teammate when he was going to start running, a reproach that did not please everyone in the Marseille locker room, which is also having more and more trouble with Guendouzi, according to Romain Canuti. Now, here's what he writes. He says, it's not just Gerson who is fed up with Guendouzi. It does not matter. We should not interpret too much. But there are some players at Olympique Marseille who have trouble with Matteo Guendouzi. The way he works, when he always blames other people for things, oh my God, reminds me of Squadron Mustafi. When he puts both knees on the ground in training to implore the good God because the touch is not good, it annoys. I do not blame him for this attitude. We know this type of temperament in Marseille, but there are foreign players who are not too into it, who have a lot of trouble with that. When you have a guy like that who always criticizes behind, you don't necessarily want to sympathize with him on the rest. Afterwards, Marseille needs character. Guendouzi has some, so it's good too. The journalist from Le Faucine, who hopes that Guendouzi will calm down, otherwise Jorge Sampaoli's group could well experience a crisis. He says nothing is, I mean, this is a very balanced approach, which Canuti comes up with. He says that, yes, Matteo Guendouzi, nobody's liking the things that he's actually throwing up, but he's a good character. He's the kind of character that wants to drive forward with everyone. You'd kind of ignore what Canuti is actually trying to say here, but hey, some things are repeating, and Matteo Come on, you know you went to Marseille. It's not like that you're not playing in Paris Saint-Germain where you've got Verratti beside you, you got Neymar that you'd want to, say, hey, you world-class players, why not playing like world-class players? You got to understand, you got to find some other ways to push your teammates, man. Well, according to La Raison, they say that Sevilla want 45 million euros for Yusuf Nesiri, but Arsenal could believe that they could get him for less in January if they include Alex Lacazette as part of the deal. If Alex Lacazette is being included in that deal, it could be much more cheaper for Arsenal. No doubt. Doubt. But Rio Ferdinand reveals the sublime duo Mikel Arteta and Edu cannot afford to lose. Well, I don't know that, but okay, right. There's nothing much to be sad about. So let's talk about Lokonga first. Sambi says Arsenal is a legendary club. Of course, there is the reality of the moment, but there is also all the weight of history behind it. I immediately wanted to participate in the rebuilding of this club because for me, even in a crisis, Arsenal remains Arsenal. Say, yeah, you love Lokonga, man. Well, here's what Ferdinand had to say about the Haaland products, Smith Rowe and Saka. He says, I said before the game, if Aubameyang scores and has an influence on the game, you guys are a different team. Again, he scores the goal, but Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, they were just sublime, especially in the first half. They were clinical, an assist and a goal each. You have to build around these kids, man. You have to keep them at the club for starters, and they have to build around them with the right players, with the right DNA. Completely agree. There's nothing I can go against it. So Alex Ishak, well, according to Cadena Ser via Twitter Mercato Web, Arsenal contacted his agents if they could sign him this year. This is a fresh bits of Alexander Ishak that Arsenal contacted his agents and made sure whether he's available in the market or not. So some old reports from Victor Osimhen, what he had previously said about Arsenal during the links. So Osimhen has opened the lid. He says, I spoke with Arsene Wenger after the tournament, the under 17 World Cup ended, and he wanted me to come to Arsenal. I had a lot of options: Barcelona, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, and the rest. Arsenal was a good option, but it wasn't the best at the time. I wanted to start playing as soon as I turned 18. I wanted to go to a place where I had time to invest in my game and improve physically. Wolfsburg showed me that possibility. Of course, one day I'd like to play for a big club in England. My priority is to play a lot of games. Signing for a big club and being on the bench is not exciting for me. Well, let's see. I think for me, I think what I've already said this before I made an episode about Victor Osimhen. For me, it's pretty much clear if Arsenal are looking for a striker, they have to also look at Victor Osimhen. I'm pretty much sure they've been following him for a very long time, and I'm pretty much sure because of the Arsenal are actually dependent more on statistics in buying players. Now, I think Osimhen really fits the bill. Chris Wheatley says Arsenal are targeting 3 new signings in January with Bernd Leno likely to leave soon. What did he say? He says the next positions Arsenal are expected to target are midfield and defense. A backup goalkeeper for Aaron Ramsdale once Bernd Leno leaves is likely to. It's pretty much clear that, Bernd Leno needs a move, but he's looking for a bigger contract that really gives him a good amount of money. So I don't think so Arsenal are going to give him a new contract where he earns less than what he earns now or anything on that lines. It does not match, it would not match his agenda at all. So with that being said, I think I'm pretty much confident that Bernd Leno is definitely leaving soon. But Ian Wright is actually pointed out a point at the North London derby where it was really difficult for Sergio Reguilon to deal with Bukayo Saka. What did he say? Now, what's it all about? So, Ian Wright says, when Reguilon came, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, Real Madrid, you've got some players, but now I'm watching him. He looks nowhere near what he was. He did not have a clue what to do with Saka. I mean, well, forget about Reguilon at Real Madrid. Reguilon in Sevilla was a different beast going forward. I mean, his crosses were so good. But so awesome, man. Sergio Reguilon was a different beast in Sevilla. Forget about Real Madrid. I know at Real Madrid he's not done much, but yeah, at Sevilla he was a different kind of beast when they won the Europa League. It was really good. So for me, I think it's clear. There's nothing much to talk about. It's pretty much clear. Reguilon, yeah. a kind of player that I also wanted to come to Arsenal, but hey, I was wrong. At one point of time, we all are wrong, yeah? So with this, I'd like to end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be, consider subscribing. 3 signings in January. Which ones? Let me know. What do you guys? Which ones are you excited about?